Hello, everyone, and welcome back to From the Front Row. With the new year, we are also welcoming some new podcasters to the team. Today, I'm joined by Adriana Kotchkoski, Lauren Lavin, Rasika Mukkamala, Garrett Naughton, and Amy Wu, our newest members who you'll start to hear in our weekly episodes. I'm Anya Morozov, co-hosting with Eric Ramos, and if it's your first time with us, welcome. We're a student-run podcast that talks about major issues in public health and how they are relevant to anyone, both in and outside the field of public health. Welcome to the show, everybody. So to start out, can you each introduce yourselves, just kind of your program, your track, maybe your year and hometown, and we'll just start off with Adriana and go from there.
Hi. Like Anya said before, my name is Adriana, and I'm a first-year Master of Health Administration student. And I moved around a lot growing up, but I graduated high school in Marathon, Wisconsin.
I'm Lauren. I am a PhD student in Health Services and Policy. I grew up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and it's my first year here at the University of Iowa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rasika Mukkamala. I am from the Denver metro area. I'm from a suburb called Highlands Ranch. I'm also a first-year MHA student, and I'm super excited to be here with all of you today.
Hi, I'm Garrett Naughton. I'm one of the undergrads, and I just got into the College of Public Health, and I'm really excited to be here. I am from Mount Prospect, Illinois, one of the northwest suburbs, and I'm currently a junior going into my second semester.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Wu, and I'm a first-year master's student in biostatistics at the College of Public Health, and I'm originally from Central Iowa.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. To start, can each of you tell me something that you've learned about yourself and public health since the beginning of your time here in the University of Iowa?
The main thing I've learned is there's really not that much time, especially if you're only in a 2-year program. By now, I'm about a quarter of the way done, and we start school this upcoming Tuesday. So really have good time management skills and try as many things as you can possibly fit in, because the time is really short and you'll really regret if you don't do a lot of stuff.
I will concur with that. I cannot believe I graduate in like 4 months. Like the 2 years has flown. So definitely relatable across the board. Rasika, do you want to go next?
Sure. I think something that I've learned is just to believe in myself. I think I thought that grad school was going to be impossible compared to undergrad, but we've already made it through 4 years of whatever we did undergrad in. So just that, to believe in yourself and to know that there are opportunities and that you can do it.
I'll bring the undergrad perspective. I so coming from a different major, switching over, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but I kind of fell in love with public health after taking the first fundamentals of public health with I forget the teacher, but she was great. And it made me realize I still have so much about like potential and possibility here. There's never too late to switch, even if you think it is. I switched like halfway through my sophomore year, like second semester. So, and I'm still going to graduate on time. So never be afraid to switch, even if it seems scary.
I switched like 4 times, so definitely don't be afraid to switch. Amy, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. What I've learned so far is that even though my field of biostatistics is typically related to data and data analysis, it's really important for us to be sociologically informed, because public health is like more of a social issue than ever before. So I've been really excited to learn more about that aspect of public health.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren?
Everyone's talking about how fast their time goes, and I've still got 4.5 years left. But I think one of the things that I've loved since coming here is how diverse public health is, not only within the College of Public Health, but also everyone's background. There are people who have been working in the industry for years. There are people like me who was in like psychology, and then I owned a bakery, and now I'm doing a PhD in public health. Or there's people who have been doing that since undergrad. And so I think that's something that I love about that is just that there's a lot of diverse backgrounds. And I think that's really important for communicating public health messages to a broader audience.
Okay, I'm not going to let that go. You owned a bakery?
I did. That's what I did for 2 years prior to this.
Where at?
In Sioux Falls.
Okay. What did you make? Like, did you make a little bit of everything, or did you specialize in one thing?
It was everything, but like I started doing wedding cakes. Like that was like wedding cakes and like other special occasion cakes. So
do you still bake?
I do, just for fun, but also the price of eggs and butter, you guys, makes me not regret switching. And like the Costco here is out, and they've been out for like an entire week, so I don't even know where to buy stuff.
Yeah, I made cinnamon rolls the other day and I went to go buy eggs and I was like, I'm only making half as many as I thought I was going to.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you're gonna be making us a cake later.
We should have a celebration
I
cake.
think, yeah, I think
Yeah.
Mhm.
A celebration for inflation.
Yeah.
Yes. If you ever want to come to a grad ambassador meeting and bring cake, that's always welcome. And that's extended to anyone, by the way.
Noted.
So, yeah, Lauren, you did mention kind of the diversity in the College of Public Health, and I think there's a lot of diversity even in this group here. But one common thread that kind of brings us all together is doing the podcast. So, can you each tell me a little bit about like what made you interested in joining From the Front Row?
Yeah, I just thought it'd be a really cool way to like look up different health topics, especially from different lenses, as we're all coming from different backgrounds and we're interviewing people from like different like perspectives. I thought it'd be a really cool way to learn about like relevant public health topics from, I guess, different people.
I think part of public health and public health education is being able to inform the public in a concise and clear manner. And a lot of the podcasts that I listen to aren't necessarily public health related. They're more just general podcasts. And so I thought that this would be a great way for me to learn how to explain different concepts, even if I'm not familiar with them, to the general public, and get to meet a lot of new guests and get out of my comfort zone a little bit.
I actually met Anya during our fun little summer internship with Johnson County Health Department, driving around. That was basically the internship. But it was a great time, and we talked about the podcast. And I've always kind of been into podcasting and the idea of running or helping run a podcast. I actually have a funny little setup to have my audio be better, and I just put pillows all around me, so it like the sound doesn't bounce around a bunch. But yeah, I love podcasts. I love running audio equipment. I love and then I also love information about public health. So I think that this was a perfect thing for me because it's just a way for me to get engaged and also meet new people and meet people within the College of Public Health. So as an undergrad, it's going to be perfect for me to make my connections and hopefully, advance myself further as we move along.
I listen to podcasts all the time. So this is kind of like selfishly, like I want to kind of be on the other end of it. And I've been listening to this podcast for a while. Plus, I don't know, I like to talk. I like to meet other people. And I think this is kind of a fun way to do all of those things. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, kind of similar to Garrett and Lauren. I am a pretty big like podcast fan. And I particularly enjoy like news podcasts like The Daily or This American Life, NPR, etc. And I think it'd be cool to be on a podcast that gets to talk about relevant public health issues that, interest us, but as Rasika said, might also interest people outside of the College of Public Health because it's relevant to all of us.
I noticed that a lot of you have said that you're already really into podcasts, love listening to podcasts. I'm interested to know, like, what are each of yours favorite podcasts or some that you listen to often?
I'm personally really interested or into Lingthusiasm, which is like a linguistic podcast. I totally recommend it, and I think it's a lot of fun.
I love Freakonomics MD. And so that's like a health econ one. I highly recommend it if you're interested in public health topics or health research. And then, Maintenance Phase is a really good one. Also kind of like a health trend one. Those are like two that I really like.
So I don't really listen to podcasts that are about healthcare like directly because I prefer to learn about those in different ways. But my favorite podcast is Just a Quick Pinch. It's for women in healthcare. The person that runs it is a PharmD by background, but she's actually in dental school. So she and her boyfriend, they have different topics. So it's a great way to start my Tuesday morning.
You guys are gonna make me look bad. I don't listen to anything healthcare related. I just listen to funny podcasts because I just like laugh in the car. No, there's like 3 that I listen to. They're all run by like just dudes. Like there's like guys who talk. Distractible. If you know Markiplier, he runs that with 2 of his friends. He's very funny. Chuckle Sandwich, another just like 3 dude podcasts, also really funny. Improv-y kind of thing, and then Ear Biscuits, which is just 2 friends that have been friends since like they were 3 and now they're 40 and they just talk about life. But yeah, I like to relax. I'll learn my stuff during lectures, but I'll keep it pretty relaxed when I'm just driving around.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned some of them that are by like New York Times or NPR. Those are good ones. I also recently got into Stuff You Should Know. which is also educational, and they recently did one about Enron. And I like know nothing about economics or anything like that, but it was interesting and like very layman friendly. So
Yeah, I'm with Garrett. Mine are not healthcare related. I like just like different type of podcasts. I listen to Crime Junkie. I listen to a lot. That's a very popular one. Two Hot Takes is also really good. If you guys have ever listened to that one, they just read like Reddit streams and decide like if like who's in the right, who's in the wrong. It's pretty interesting. I've gotten into a lot of like different like it's literally like soap operas, but in podcast form. Those have been really cool to listen to. There was one called The Princess of South Beach, which I listened to in Spanish. And it was literally just like a telenovela, but on podcast. It was so interesting, but there's definitely so much out there. So I'm definitely in Garrett's corner with I don't do healthcare related. I kind of listen to other things, but props to everybody for continually growing yourself.
Yeah. Lauren, it's kind of interesting. I don't listen to Freakonomics MD, but I listen to like Freakonomics just because like they talk about just the randomest stuff and then tie it to economics somehow.
Yeah. You should try Freakonomics MD. I bet you'd like it.
I bet I would too. And then the other one I do is Hidden Brain. It's just like about different kind of psychology topics. And
I listen to that one too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Do you guys do audiobooks or no? Because I have an audiobook called Poison Squad. That one kind of got me into like microbiome, actually, which would eventually led me to public health. So kind of part of the reason I'm here. But it's about the formation of the FDA and like this one guy's crusade to like during like, you know, like when the like early 20s, I think, when there was no regulation on anything food related. So like the Chicago meatpacking industry was just horrible. And he was just going around and like basically exposing all these people. And it just like it's his story about how like they were putting like lithium in 7-Up just cause. And I think it was really cool. So that's a highly recommend.
What was it called again?
Poison Squad.
Okay.
I think it's by Deborah Bloom. I don't remember. She has 2 books that I've read, and they're really good. And I don't read books. I listen to them.
Okay.
All right. Well, we also kind of wanted to have a fun, like, get to know you question that's also kind of weird, courtesy of Eric. So thank you. So our next question is, if I gave you 2 crayons and told you to draw a picture, what colors would you choose and what would you draw?
I would choose gray and lime green, and I would draw a picture of my cat, but like do it like Blue's Clues style, because I think that's a really cute style, and we should bring it back.
I love Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues actually what taught me English. Fun fact. Yeah, because my grandma raised me, so I grew up speaking Spanish, but she would put on Blue's Clues, and that's how I learned English.
Same here, Eric. But I think I learned a lot of English from Dragon Tales, and there was this one, oh my god, it was like chasers, and they were like doing math or whatever, and there was like this little robot, like bird thing. I don't remember the name, but it was
Cyber Chase.
Yes, it was Cyber Chase. I learned a lot of English watching Cyber Chase, and to this day, if I ever need a refresher, put it in the background.
What about Backyardigans? Were you guys too old for that?
Oh yeah, I know, with Tyrone and like
that was my jam. I loved a good Backyardigans during the summer. Oh my god.
Classic. Rasika, colors?
I would say probably yellow and green. I am not an artist. I'm probably the worst artist you will ever meet. Fun fact, I got called out in our healthcare IT class because my self-portrait looked like Ben Franklin. So the only thing I know how to draw is like green grass and a yellow daisy, because that's what I learned how to draw as a child. But yeah, so that's what I would draw. And those are the colors I would use because that's all I know how to use.
Okay. Garrett?
I think so. All right. I was big into dragons, but I like a purple blue, maybe. That'd be a cool dragon. I mean, Anya's got the cool pictures behind her right now. So I think her answer is going to be the most interesting. But I think, yeah, blue and purple, and I'd draw a dragon.
Amy?
I would choose like a bright red and a light green. And kind of similar to Rasika, I would draw like a field of poppies, like field of flowers.
Okay. Lauren?
I think I would do like green and pink and do this like rose that I would put on like literally every piece of paper in like middle school, like right by my name, which is so dorky, but what middle schooler isn't. So I think I'd go back to that.
Okay.
Yeah. My answer is going to be less impressive than you think, Garrett. I would choose brown and black, and I would draw this picture of a cat that I always used to draw when I was little because I actually am not very artistic. I'm trying to learn. I have like a book that's kind of trying to teach me how to use acrylics, but it is a work in progress that I wouldn't really say I'm great at it yet, but we're working on it.
Okay. I would choose, I'm very indecisive with this question. Yeah, I'm the one that made it and I'm indecisive. I actually didn't make it. This is actually a question I got asked during one of my fellowship interviews. And I was like, what? But I would say, this is not what I said in my interview, but I would say black and gray. And I would draw a donkey because that's what I always draw in class when I'm bored and I just need something to sketch because I watched some video back in high school that taught you how to draw a donkey really easily. So that's what I draw all the time.
Does anybody have like I have like one sketch that I did that I was really proud of. So I like it and it stuck out. I just drew a hawk and it was so nice and I loved it. But does anybody else have like something that stood out artistically?
I know in middle school they taught us how to draw like a horse, but like you start from the bottom, you turn your paper upside down. So you start from like the hooves and then you go all the way down to like the face. And like I'm not a really good artist, but that's the only thing I've ever been able to draw that looks like somewhat like what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
When I was in the second grade, I learned how to draw a flower from Georgia O'Keeffe. And it's like the big circle. I don't know why I'm drawing it, but it's a circle and then like all of it around it. And so sometimes when I'm bored, that's what you'll see on my paper because it's just shapes. And even I can't mess up the shapes.
I'm kind of artsy in general. I mean, people on the thing can't see it, but I just like finish just like painting for behind my couch and it's like kind of abstract. It's just blue with like lots of squiggles and I did like little flowers around it. So I actually really like painting. And when I was little, my mom used to sign me up for these Bob Ross painting classes and it'd be me and like 70-year-olds in like the back of Hobby Lobby. And I have so many like old Bob Ross paintings in my parents' basement. So that's how I got started painting.
That's awesome. I really like landscape painting and I mostly do gouache. And actually I have tried kind of like limiting myself to 2 colors or like 3 colors. So when I first saw this question, I was like, oh, this is kind of like this is a good artistic question. It like teaches you how to be very like economical with your color choices and stuff.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is we're gonna have a podcast like art retreat / cake eating time at some point.
If you're gonna be in like nature, I think we just go to like Hubbard Park or something and just be out in the field.
I wouldn't complain.
And our last question, I think, is, so what's something you're looking forward to this year or semester?
I'm gonna visit one of my best friends in Boston, who I literally just saw her last week, but I miss her endlessly. And we're gonna go around Boston, do whatever you do in Boston, because I've never been, and meet her cat, because I really want to see her and little Marie.
My favorite cookie place is in Boston. It's called Lavin, and you must go. They have the best chocolate chip cookies in the world.
I've been, and I did undergrad in Boston, and I think the Lavin bakery is like kind of new, but it's the one on Newbury. Yeah, It's very good.
It like originated in New York. I'm pretty sure they just opened one in Chicago, and I've yet to go to Chicago, even though we're like 3 hours away, and I just need to go for the cookies.
I had the one in Washington, D.C., and it was amazing.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to my summer internship. I recently accepted a position at UC Health, which was my dream internship in my hometown. So I'm really looking forward to my classes this semester and learning as much as I can so that I can make the best out of my internship this summer.
I think so for me, a lot of it, I'm in the busy part of undergrad. So like this is kind of most of what I'm looking forward to because it's like the fun thing that I'm doing that is also beneficial for me, like my future. But I got accepted to a lab. I kind of like pushed myself into this microbiology lab that actually works on antibiotic resistant microbes, which is super cool. But I mean, I'm going to be working for minimum wage and I'm just going to be like cleaning petri dishes, running autoclaves, which is like whatever, but I'll get cool experience out of it. I got a lot of fun public health classes of 4. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, I'm excited for this mostly though, because I love helping run this podcast so far. It's been a great time.
I am excited. I don't know, for some like travel plans, I suppose. Theoretically, we're going to London for spring break, which I'm pretty excited about. And then Hawaii after I finish prelims in June. And like I said, I want to get to Chicago. And I don't know. So that kind of stuff. Of course, maybe some of my classes. I don't know. I honestly, we'll see once the next week gets started. But yeah. And spring. Like spring in Iowa City seems like it's going to be a lovely thing.
When are you going to London?
I think the flight is like the Thursday before spring break officially starts.
That's so funny because I'm low-key gonna tell myself here, but I've been multitasking. I literally have Google Flights open for flights to London right now for spring break.
Yeah. There's a really cheap one out of ORD on Thursday.
From Cedar Rapids to London, I think from like Wednesday to Wednesday, I think is like $650, I think. It's not
bad.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting involved in the Iowa City community more and more. I am trying to get more involved at Public Space One, which is like the artist community here in town, and then also just like the biostats department or anything else going on in the city.
What is everyone's favorite things to do in the city? Because I'm also like, that's one of my goals for this semester is like do things outside of school, you know, to like meet more people outside of, I don't know, school stuff.
Did anybody else go to undergrad here? Anya, did you go to undergrad here or no?
Nope,
Okay.
I was in Nebraska.
Then do I have the most years in Iowa City with 3 or does, okay. All right. Well, I mean, from an undergrad perspective, all the bars are great, but like non-bar related things. I love I'll run the trails a bunch, the back there. That's a fun like exercise type thing. But I mean, like all the facilities are great. I love being able to like study pretty much anywhere and it's really pretty. Like our building West library overlooks that pond. That's a great place to study. But yeah, I think you just gotta like get in and explore it yourself because you just never know what you're gonna find because there's just so I love Iowa City. I want to live there, to be honest. But I mean, maybe not, but also I don't know. I love Iowa City a lot.
I'm an inside person, so me and my friends on Tuesday nights, we go to the Iowa Athletic Club and we play bingo. And then recently we've started doing trivia. There's a lot of places in Iowa City that do trivia. So like St. Birch Tavern, Joe's, but it's pretty fun and it's inside. So when it's cold out, it's really fun. And it's a great way to kind of like be in the scene without like, I'm not meeting new people. I don't like meeting strangers. So it's a perfect match for me.
I stay at home and read and watch TV, so I'm not the greatest person to ask.
I mean, if you're into movies, there's the film scene, all those film scenes, and I like artsy movies. I'm a big Wes Anderson guy. So I saw French Dispatch at the film scene over in downtown, and that was fantastic. I got the early access too. I'm a big Wes Anderson guy. So yeah, if you're an artsy, indie kind of like cool films, and they're cheap, it was like $5. It was lovely. I love that place.
Yeah, there's a lot of really nice parks around. I think like Hickory Hill is really nice. There's a Devonian fossil gorge, and it's just like a, I don't know, like hour-long excursion maybe, but that's a cool place to visit at least once. And then Lake McBride has a lot of cool stuff you can do. And they have a little raptor center, and it's free to go, and you can see eagles and hawks and owls that are in recovery. So yeah. But yeah, it's been great to learn more about everybody, and thank you all for coming on the show today. And that's it for our episode this week. Big thanks to Adriana Kotchkoski, Lauren Lavin, Rasika Mukkamala, Garrett Naughton, and Amy Wu for joining the podcast team. This episode was hosted and written by Eric Ramos and Anya Morozov, and edited and produced by Anya Morozov. You can learn more about the University of Iowa College of Public Health on Facebook. Our podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support the podcast, please share it with your colleagues, friends, or anyone interested in public health. Have a suggestion for our team? You can reach us at cph-gradambassador@uiowa.edu. This episode was brought to you by the University of Iowa College of Public Health. Until next week, stay healthy, stay curious, and take care.